Hey everyone, I'm here with Ryan Fazzi the day after the Maine regional. How you doing?
Doing great. I took 6th place.
And you're technically undefeated, right?
Yep, 5 wins, 0 losses, and 2 draws.
Ooh, tough, but hey, you got there.
Yeah, love the time rules, right?
Awesome. So what did you play?
I played Tenpai,
Ooh.
and this is post-Banlist.
So you got that one prosperity, that one song and summoning.
It's not a problem, I promise.
Not a problem. All right, let's see that list.
All right, this is going to stay the same. So 3 Pydra, 3 Chandra. So I'm going to go with 2 Genroku here, 2 Fadra, and 1 Dora. So previous to the ban, I was playing either like 1 of this, or 2 of this, or 2 of this, and 1 of this, 2 and 2. But without the consistency of the field spell, I think you do need to run 2 and 2. And the second one does come up, even though it's like terrible to draw, because it allows you to grind. And the 1 Dora that, like, I know there's a ton of normal summons, but again, it helps your consistency and make sure you see engine, because there's just too many times where you just see a lot of non-engine and you need that 1 card to get you there.
All right, that makes sense. Good theory. Nothing you'd change there?
No, I like that setup. I think it'll be the setup going forward.
Awesome.
Rhoda doesn't really change like the engine specific pieces. And we're playing this. Unfortunately, these have been at 1. This is at 1, this is at 1, and then 3 Kaiman. Obviously, like, this is like the bread and butter. Using this in battle phase, a special summon, the search. It's an awesome card.
Nice. Very standard.
Very standard for sure. All right, now down to the hand traps. We go with 3 Shifter, 3 Mulch Army, 3 Ash, 2 Droll Lock, and then 1 Magnamut, and also 3 Imperm, which I think is pretty much in every list now.
Oh yeah.
Shifter was pretty good. Obviously, if you're playing like Snake or you're playing Yubel, this pretty much results in a turn skip. Mulch Army was great. I played a Ritual Beast player, and this allowed me to draw. He ended up winning the regional, but we had a tie. We just didn't have enough time to get to a game 3. But Mulch Army is great, especially because you use both of them. So I'll just like drop 1 right away in draw phase. And then like when they like show me the Poplar or something I could chain to in hand, like a Bistio or something, then I'll chain the second one, then I'm drawing 2. And that second effect has never come up to me in like the hundreds of games I've played. Ash, I know some people don't really like this format. I personally do like it. It does stop like the White Witch trap. It just stops a lot of rogue. A 1-for-1 trait can sometimes end in like stop a turn stop. Against the Voices player, he went for like the one that you ditch from hand to add and dump or whatever, and I stopped that and he just like pass. So this does come up. It sucks to draw 2 sometimes, but like using on your own turn is great. And also in the mirror, this is like really good. Bistio Magma, obviously a great card because it doubled down his engine. Joel Lockwood was crazy. I don't play 3 because I just don't want to see 3. But every time I saw it, I did use it, and it was extremely helpful. And another reason I don't play 3 is because it does conflict with Shifter.
Makes sense.
And 3 Imperm is like awesome. I love that card. Except against Voices where you can't target anything.
Yeah. Overall, it seems like a really solid lineup.
Yeah, great hand traps. And I did play board breakers too, because I think you need, I don't think you put all your eggs in 1 basket. So you do need to play like these board breakers. So I have the 3 Red Geki, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heart Beast, 2 Lightning Storm. Instead of maxing out on Dark Hole, I actually went with Change of Heart. And it did come up like big so many times in the tournament where I would use Change of Heart in situations where like destruction wasn't the ideal. Obviously against like the Yubel decks, like destruction is great, but Change of Heart can do like a ton of work. Like the one guy just passed on like a Dispatter, and I didn't have like a really great way of getting rid of it other than like trying to take it.
Nice. And any changes to the board breakers, or you felt like that was optimal?
I think these are good.
Okay.
Sometimes these like don't come up as much as they should. These always work great. Sometimes Dark Hole is better than Regeki, just depending on the format, like whether you want to clear your own thing. Heartbeast is great. Change of Heart's great. Maybe Snatch Steal I would think about in moving forward, but I really did like this setup personally.
Nice.
And I also don't want to clog on. Like, I'd rather clog on hand traps than clog on what you called, and board breakers.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah, because like they might make you go first, and then like you have all board breakers in your hand, like you really can't go first. At least like hand traps, you can make like a spears and like have hand traps in your hand to live a turn, then get them on the crackback. But that's my list. 40 cards. Time for the extra. 2 of the Bidens, 1 of the Transcendent. I think this is the pretty standard rate that everyone's going with. Unicorn's back in the format now. I saw quite a few of people playing Unicorn, so I'm thinking about bumping this up to 2, or bumping this up to 3, because like the Unicorn folks like will take this one away and expecting me to use the effect on my turn, then they take the second one away. It's like, oh my gosh, now I don't have any like Dragon level 7 tuners, so it becomes really hard. So I'm thinking about potentially changing this lineup. These 2 guys didn't come up. Black Rose is always good to have just in case they big board you and you do need like a hard reset. This comes up in the mirror. And then kind of random matches where like you know they have Ash, you need to play around it. And because the field cell is only at 1, like it's hard to like stop them from ashing at point. So having this is actually really helpful. These 2 came up quite a bit, where it wasn't great to make a Biden, it wasn't great to make a Black Rose, 'cause I didn't want to blow everything up, where I just needed to pop like 1 huge monster or get rid of 1 huge monster. These guys came in to like help that out, because one of the problems with the deck is your biggest monster is 3200, which is Ruddy Rose, which you don't go into that often, or realistically you go into this, which is 3000. So you really need to pop the field spell to up their attack. Well, you only got 1 field spell, and if they banish it or destroy it before battle phase, then your guys don't get that big. So you need some sort of spot removal.
Makes sense.
Samurai Destroyer, I didn't play U-Bell, so I didn't use it, but this guy's great. I also use it against like anti-meta matchups like Runic, where they destroy it and just keeps coming back, and like you negate their effects when you attack. It becomes like a little like towers thing that they can't really get around intelligently. So like I would never cut this. I think it's a really awesome card to have.
It is really cool. That's very unique utility.
Oh yeah, and I think most Tenpai folks play that now. Borrowed from a friend. This came up. It's great. Prior to borrowing from a friend, I did play the deck. I was on the boat of like, you don't need this card. I think now that people are playing Spooky Dogwood, I think now that like this is also affordable, which I will have one in the mail soon, I think this is necessary. it just helps you win games that you probably shouldn't have won.
It's too good.
Oh yeah. Ruddy Rose, I didn't make it, but it's really a good card. 3200 gets over the STD in the mirror match, and against like Chimera and stuff like that, banishing their graveyard is almost as good as OTKing them, because OTKing them isn't always realistic, so I did like having the 1 Ruddy.
Makes sense.
1 Spears, the greatest scoring first play of all time. Do a little for the D barrier so you can kill them. Hida for the mirror match. Also, this stops Secret Village of spellcasters, because this is also a spellcaster.
Oh, that's good.
This to bring you go Hida, then you can go this after special summoning from your graveyard. These didn't come up. Spears came up quite a bit, but I would still keep these in there. Typhon didn't come up, and testing came up a lot, where I would special summon this to bounce, where maybe I drew 1 Phaedra, and I need like, I had board breakers but no follow up, so like 1 Phaedra usually doesn't do it for you.
Yeah.
So like making this would help, especially if they have like big 3000 monsters. This would just stop all their effects from activating.
Okay, and would you consider cutting that link package for the extra copies of your Tenpai Dragon Synchros?
Maybe. One of the things I did miss was SP Little Knight or Nightmare Phoenix. SP will be easy to get when these Megatons reprint. But like this didn't come up, and I don't think this is actually realistic anymore. I don't know if I have the courage to like make this OTK, because like 1 Imperm or 1 Vela just stops that whole OTK line. And in testing, like the Zealantis and the Raging Phoenix didn't come up either. So I don't know if I would do that, but SP definitely came up, like where / Nightmare Phoenix, where like I needed like a spot removal, and I needed to like use their monster to link off with, because I could technically link off into Hida if I had 1 fire, but there was like weird situation where like I had a Nibiru and then I changed a heart their monster, and like I had nothing to link into because I didn't have a fire monster. So I would have preferred that SP Little Knight, but I probably have to put Striker Dragon in there. So Nightmare Phoenix might be the play. It's something that's definitely warrants further testing.
Excellent.
All right, now my side deck.
The spice.
No spice here. This card's excellent. Unfortunately, I did go into time quite a bit. This was very helpful in solidifying the win. Also in the mirror match, this makes it a lot harder for them to OTK. They really only have like the trident line to OTK me. So this is great. I would definitely play it again. Nibiru is great with a format that you don't have to worry about Appaloosa, you don't have to worry about Caesar. This came in clutch a few times against people where they would summon a bunch of stuff. I'd make this, they had no way to stop it, and they're like, shoot, pass. So like the goal of Tenpai is to make them make their half board. Like I don't think there's enough, like Shifter stops their board completely. Like Molcharmi stops their half board, this stops their half board. They make somewhat of a board, then they pass, and usually that's enough, like you can OTK them through it, especially when you play board breakers on the other stuff.
Nice.
These are great. Just removing floodgates, skill drain, Tikaboo, the freaking runic field.
Yeah, it hits like everything right now.
Yeah, exactly. These are great as well. I generally put these in when Imperm isn't the best option. So against Voiceless, this was like a card that definitely came in, right? I couldn't target anything, so this comes up. I tend to clog on it personally. I think 3 would be right, but for me personally, I think 2 was better because I didn't want to see like 2 in my hand, right? Yeah. And obviously when I did play, I saw 2 in my hand anyways. So I'm like, how much did I really? I hate having to play this card, but it's great, man. Like in the mirror, you know you're gonna have to go first, so like having this really helps. It also is not terrible going second. Like I'll put this in if I'm not sure they're gonna make me go first. So I'll throw this in, like this followed by a board breaker stops their recursion, right? Because they can't like float, because they can't special summon monsters. So going this, then like a board breaker really helps. It also can bait out negates, like if they're really afraid that you have a board breaker follow-up, you can go this, they'll negate it, and then you do something else. So these are great. In the second match that I tied, it solidified his ability to burn me or gain life points per game. If I had more time, I might have been able to push it through because I had this plus Shifter. But this card's like auto win if you see it, you know what I mean? It's obviously really bad if you're top decking and you see this card, like because it obviously doesn't help you. But I think it's a good card, and I think it's warranted at 3 until something better comes along.
Makes sense. And would you ever consider the Tenpai trap or just?
Yeah, that came up once. I wish I had it, but like it's really hard to justify searching that off with Pydra. Like when you can search a quick play or the field. So like you play at 1 because it is searchable, but at the same time you're using Pydra to search other things. So I don't know if I would have used it. And going first, I'd rather have the spears than like a summon Tenpai monster set trap pass.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because then you would also need to set like the quick play to make it really work, or you'll go Pydra, Chandra, and then you can go like the trap, and then you can start synchroing in the battle phase. But I think that is just, it's really hard. It did come up in my matches, but I think it was like really coincidental more than anything.
I got you, okay.
My last two was Power Filter. I did not play any Ubel, but this is for Ubel. It does come up against the Whitewoods, but I just didn't play them, so this never came in. I really wanted to use them, but didn't work out that way. I don't play Draco. I know a lot of lists play Draco. I just think like because the deck lost some consistency, I don't want to see it in my hand. And if I see it in my hand, like normal summoning that pass and revealing a dragon isn't the best play. You can also summon it with like spears from your hand, but I just think it's not the best thing you can do. And I think a lot of people have a ways around it. Sometimes like Ubel doesn't have like the best way around it. But I think Power Filter is just slightly better, especially because you can use it going second as well, where you can like play the Power Filter, start attacking off. They can't use Spear of Ubel or anything.
No, that's super smart. And since you didn't play Ubel, do you mind telling us what your matchups are?
Yeah, first round was 60 card Brandon. He didn't see his grass, so great there. Second round was Kashitira. That deck's tough. Like they just banish a lot. They take away your extra deck. Like it's tough. I beat that deck. Third round was against Jytron. I was able to edge that one out. I stopped playing in 2016, so this is my first regional in like 8 years. So I wasn't familiar with that format. I had to like literally read every card twice because I wasn't familiar with that deck. I think Eva was unbanned. I didn't even know Eva was a card until this last ban list. So I was like, okay, Eva's a card. But yeah, I edged him out. He was really good. And then I had a tie with Ritual Beast. That was a tough deck. He ended up winning the regional. The following round, I had the match with Kashitra, Fiendsmith, Fire King, which I found out later.
That was all one deck?
Yeah, and it was like 50 cards. It was insane. Like, it sounds crazy, like not in a good way, but it's insane. And then I had Snake Eye cards in there. That deck was tough. We tied. We just didn't have enough time. Like, at no point did I think anyone was slow playing against me. I just think like these combos are very, very robust.
Yeah.
And like we were both going at like a reasonable rate of speed, not like trying to slow play each other. Because I don't think, realistically, I think most people don't want to win that way. You know.
Yeah.
Then the following round, I played Voiceless. That was tough. I ended up getting it through. Change of Heart did not work in that matchup, so take Change of Heart out for them specifically.
No targeting, yeah.
Yeah, and then last round I played Centurion. I just had the hand traps. Like, you know, I just stopped the one that sends one to the back or whatever, and special summons their main guy, the 1600 guy. So I just ashed him. Then I had Nibiru the second game, and
that's a wrap.
That was a wrap.
Awesome. Well, very exciting stuff. Any shout outs or any closing notes?
Yeah, thank God for this. Thank you to my wife for allowing me to play. Thanks to Jason and Frank for testing with me. New England's community for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really, really good. We all are super passionate players, and like we might hate each other when we're dueling, but like outside of like Yu-Gi-Oh!, like right when we're done, it's like always a great community. Yeah, this is my first Maine regional, in a while. And it was a really good time. So I'll see everyone at Nats.
Awesome, man. Great showing. Thanks.